Okay, today we're going to be talking about subtraction. And sometimes we have pretty simple subtraction, and I would say a simple subtraction would be like this: 743 subtract 32. So let's say we had a subtraction problem like this: 743 subtract 42. Well, we always start at the ones, and all we have to do is subtract. So 3 subtract 2 is 1, 4 subtract 3 is 1, and then 7, there's nothing there, so it's like a 0. 7 subtract 0 is 7. So we have the number 711. So that's a pretty simple and easy way to do that. 711. Well, what happens though if we have a number like this? Let's say 324 subtract 57. Okay, so let's take a look at this problem. We go with the ones and we go 4 subtract 7. Now, here's the thing, we don't really, 4 is smaller than 7, so at this point in time we cannot subtract 7 out of this 4 because there's not enough to subtract. 4 is too small, it's smaller than 7. So what we would do is we would borrow from the tens place. So I'm going to borrow from this 2. I'm going to borrow a 10 from that 2. So this 2, if I subtract 1, becomes a 1 because I borrowed 1 from there. And the way I like to do it is I like to put a little 1 next to the 4, and that shows me I'm borrowing. And this looks like a 14. So it's really 10 and a 4, so 14 take away 7. Well, I can do that. So 14 take away 7 is 7. Okay? And now I go to the next one. This is a 1 now, so 1 subtract 5. Well, same problem. 1 is smaller than 5, so I'm going to have to borrow from my neighbor here. This 3, I'm going to turn it to a 2, so I borrowed 1 out of there. Put a 1 over there. Okay, that signifies I borrowed from the other side. And so now I have what looks like an 11. So an 11 subtract 5, well, that I can do. 11 subtract 5 is 6. And then the 2 can just be brought down. So the answer is 267. So sometimes in subtraction, you're going to have to borrow. Now here's one that I like where I call it you have to kind of borrow twice. So if we take a look, let's say if we have the number 100 and we're taking away the number 41. Let's say we're taking that away. 100 subtract 41. Well, 0, I can't take away the 1 from the 0. So what do? I have to borrow from the 1 next door. But you know what? 0 is nothing. I can't borrow, so I gotta keep going over. So I'm gonna borrow from this 1, and this 1 then turns into a 0 because there's no more. Put the 1 over here. So now this is a 10. Well, now I can borrow out of this 10. That becomes a 9, and this 0 becomes a 10. So 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 4 is 5, and then 0 is just nothing. So the answer here is 59. So you have to watch out. If the number above is too small or smaller than below, then you cannot subtract. You have to borrow from the number next to it. And that's what you have to do for subtraction.